Hello and welcome to episode 9 of the Exponential Show. Today we have Kevin Law-Smith, the CEO of Asia Beverages, with us. Thank you, Kevin, for taking the time to speak with us.
Yeah, thank you very much. It's a great honor and really appreciate it.
The pleasure is all mine, Kevin. Before we get started, just wanted to thank a couple of people, our friends at Multiply Marketing for sponsoring the production of this episode, and of course our friends at A2D for making the introduction.
Yep.
Perfect. So if I may, Kevin, let's get started.
Yeah, fantastic.
Perfect. So the first question is what we ask all our guests is your origin story. So what got you into the mad world of entrepreneurship?
Maybe we try the drink first?
Sure.
Yeah.
Just ease our nerves a little bit.
Ease, because twist to awaken. So tip to awaken, and it's kind of a nod to mindfulness when you drink and towards your day. And as you see, the color is so golden. Real curcumin from the turmeric, almost equivalent to a gram of turmeric, 10 roots of turmeric.
Wow.
And then 4 cups of green tea and vitamin B12 complex. So absolute vital energy. So cheers. Thank you.
To you as well.
Yeah. And golden, we always say sparkling sunshine. So it's liquid on lips, and people say, "Oh, I don't like turmeric," and we always say, "Try this. It's sparkling sunshine."
Okay.
Yeah.
It is very refreshing, and it doesn't have an overpowering taste.
Yeah. So back to your question, it's almost it's a great question because I'm kind of mulling over it. If you're in the corporation and you have an itch that you just can't scratch,
right? That
you're trying, you just know that you want to do more. What is that? Why is that? And wanting to create something. So that's one reason, wanting to create something yourself, which is kind of something, I think, too much ego. I want to create and be the boss, but it's not really like that. It's this creative energy that you want to manifest into something. That could be a tech startup, it could be an app, it could be a FMCG product. So that itch was there always, seeing so many things being built, and I work for different corporations, Disney, Diageo, Coca-Cola, and seeing the innovation process, and then seeing it come to life, and seeing it on shelf, then seeing it in home, and then it's kind of the next stage of where the consumer takes it,
right?
Like that journey and that community. So you get to, being an entrepreneur, get to play in all these different areas. So from marketing to finance to sales to activation. So you get to experience many things and get different energies from those different things.
Right.
And it's that, for me, it's building something up and then seeing it come to life with the communities. So the communities, being my first business, was all around world's 50 best restaurants, world's 50 best bars. And so the beverage went into that community.
Nice.
And we grew it with lots of activations across Asia. And now this time, the community is really health and wellness. Right. So from longevity clinics to spas to urban resorts like the Four Seasons here in Bangkok, to great cafes like Dark Cafe, or Sarni's, where it's the community there is trying the drink, sharing the drink, and then to fitness, F45, CrossFit, yoga studios. So seeing it come to life with the different consumers and seeing what the next journey will look like.
Wow. So it's started with, like you said, a desire to create something, and then it snowballed into what it is today. And Kevin, you've been kind to share your background in the beverages space, so you're by no means a new entrant to this market. So can you tell me how that background translated into Asia Beverages in particular, and the brand S.E.A, and how that journey flowed, and what was the specific, in startup lingo, problem that you were trying to solve with these set of drinks?
Because I had cancer when I was younger, and so always trying to look for something that was anti-cancer, antioxidant, antitoxin, free radical fighter. And you look at the research, look at the clinical trials, you see green tea and turmeric are the main ones that come through for anti-inflammation, as well as great heart health and metabolism with the green tea. And there's nothing in the market specifically for those types of things.
I see.
And anything that is in the market, you don't know where the ingredients come from, you don't know the bioavailability, like how effective and efficient are the ingredients, how clean are the ingredients, and the taste is usually horrible because of that strong turmeric taste or very, very bitter green tea taste. And from the research, we knew that 50 milligrams of the catechinins, it takes around 4 cups of green tea. So you're having to brew 4 cups of green tea, you're having to make the turmeric. And turmeric is not soluble in water. And so it goes right through your body. Fantastic prebiotic, but you need, like in India, the curries, like here in Thailand, cow soy. So you have the curries, you have the fat that makes it soluble to the body. And then it's activated and it's bioactive. So it actually, it helps you with the inflammation, helps you with all your functioning. And so looking at those 2 ingredients, and I'd started this other beverage business, and seeing the trend of wellness, wellness, wellness. So always making these beverages, then seeing the trend grow and grow and grow, getting out of the more alcohol-focused beverage and more restaurant-focused beverage to get into the wellness beverage space. And that, it's around a 12-year journey, because I started this 12 years ago trying to make it, but you couldn't make it because of the solubility of the ingredients.
I see.
But over that time, and then the trend in wellness had come, that there was new technology that made it soluble, that you could make a good tasting drink.
Nice.
So sold out of the other business and started this around 2019 with my partner and mentor, Eric, and then having learned from the other business of really understanding our values, why are we doing this, what do we want to bring to the community, and that's where complete transparency. So QR code is completely where you're just being different than anything in the market. So the first of all, taste is incredible, the transparency, then the community focus, and then the highest level of functionality. And then starting building the beverage portfolio around that we want to be one of the healthiest, good for you, better for you beverage companies, be it from the very functional, super functional, to the regular soda pop. So we want to cover that whole kind of motivation states of different times where you're looking for something for hydration.
Interesting. So it's interesting to hear why this specific line of products. So it's appreciate that background. You mentioned words like wellness and community and mindfulness and things like that. And having talked to you off camera as well, I know you're not just talking the talk, but also walking the walk on that front. So can you maybe shed some light on why those causes or values are important to you as a person, and why you feel that translating them into a brand or product line made sense for you?
Yeah, it's super lucky and it's a lot of hard work. That Aya being it's not just our brand name. So Aya meaning awaken your awareness. It's this call to action. So this awakening of your own awareness, that really want to inspire people to see that if they're more mindful, that they can enhance their well-being.
Right.
So being mindful of their choices, their actions, and understanding and feeling their emotions, energy, mind, body, all of those connections, and Aya kind of captures all of that in our brand name. So that's our kind of starting point, and it really comes together around more ritual things like sports and activities like that, where you have a community of people, say the ice bath, where everyone is looking at the ice bath in fear. Everyone's heart rates are different, and they come together to experience this new thing. So you have this community inspiration. So we're inspired by the community coming together to grow. And it could be rock climbing or F45, or even learning a language like we talked about before. So coming together and then collectively transformed, that everyone goes through this learning curve, and the community helps you go through this learning curve.
Right.
And so you go through the ice bath, or you do a very hard climb up the rock face, or with CrossFit you go through the many different stages of CrossFit.
Right.
And you're inspired by the community, collectively transformed, and then individually illuminated. So you've taken all of that inspiration, brought it back to yourself, and illuminated, just as this drink illuminates you, kind of enhancing your own well-being through that experience. And that's where with Aya and our brand name, we really want to bring that to life. And it's with that integrity, with that transparency, that we want to kind of amplify our consumers' inner light, so that they feel better, they have the energy, they don't have the stresses on their body, because of the powerful plant-based ingredients we're using, and it gives them that freedom to really amplify where they want to succeed.
Interesting. I'm taking a bit of a tangent here, because you mentioned ingredients and transparency. You told me about the QR code off camera, but if you could maybe tell our audience about what that QR code is and how it helps your push for transparency, especially about the ingredients and their effects.
Yeah, because you don't know where things have been tested, where they came from, the effectiveness or efficiency of the different ingredients. So lots of the drinks you see, from smoothies to kombucha, it's passion fruit and turmeric, but you don't know where the turmerics come from, you don't know where the passion fruits come from, you don't know how much turmeric is in the actual drink. You have just a taste profile. You have the sugar levels and these other nutrition facts there, but the whole picture isn't there. So on the QR code, it goes directly to our website, and then on the website it has our ingredient suppliers, which then goes to our turmeric as Tumi Pure Gold and Tivago Green Tea. And with those, it has the clinical studies, it has the efficiencies, it has the studies against different types of supplements, and why this works so well. And that kind of calibration is an education to the consumer of, you're paying this much for this that you don't know, then look to see what is really being put in those drinks. Be mindful of what you're putting in your body. See where they're coming from and why this is different, or why this is priced different. Because we get a lot of, it's very expensive. I mean, it's an expensive drink.
I see.
But it's done it is that way because of the kind of luxury of the ingredients that we put into the drink, that they're the most effective that you can put in the market. And we're the only brand in the market that actually calibrates by the catechin levels, by the curcumin levels, what's in the drink. So the vitamins, of course, they're calibrated. We have 200%, so it's not B12 water, it's 200% of B12, and we max out each of the recommended daily allowances, and then we have each of for the green tea and the turmeric, how much is in the can and how much of the turmeric is curcumin.
Nice. Yeah. So that as a consumer who is, I'm by no means an extreme health nerd, but just as somebody who is relatively cautious about what I put into my mouth, I appreciate the effort that you're going through, and I hope that other brands also sort of emulate this practice, because it's something that gives a sense of comfort to the consumer, that they're not consuming stuff that they shouldn't be consuming, even within their limited knowledge about ingredients and things.
And really a lot about how you feel too. So once you feel the natural kind of goodness of, this is like the bioactive energy from the plants. This is taking the sun's energy. It's so golden, the curcumin, and putting it in a can, and that feeling of sun's energy, that kind of high vibration food, you're getting great, good ingredients with good bioactivity, and you feel it when you drink it. And that's where people always, Red Bull gives you wings. Of course it does. It's 700% of everything and so much sugar. I think it's the daily allowance of your sugar. It's 101% of the daily allowance, one can. And then, of course, all the caffeine and things. So we have no caffeine, we have none of this, but you'll feel it because the ingredients are so pure, and a purity and potency.
Nice, I appreciate that. Now, while talking about the ingredients, you mentioned that you're very transparent about your suppliers as well. And earlier in the conversation, you mentioned having other partners in the community. So community, not necessarily just your consumers, but other businesses in your ecosystem of spreading awareness, mindfulness, and through those, your products as well. So how important have those business partnerships been when it comes to both distributing your product and sourcing and manufacturing? So
the most important. It's one of the best learnings is wait for the right partners, and you can read it in the books all the time, which I did. And a lot of as soon as you have a feeling that it's not working, if you're franchising your business or you have a business partner, as soon as you have that gut feeling that it's not working, it's best to end it right then and there. And so we were with different partners trying to make the drink, because it's all natural, no preservatives, very difficult to do. And we changed partners, and we found someone now that is fantastic and can really grow with us, and that kind of same values with our production partner, with our distributor partner, someone I've known for a long time, who lives what we call the Aya lifestyle. You don't want a distributor, smoking cigarettes in the back and then coming in to sell a wellness product to the gym. You want someone who is up in the morning, has a practice, is mindful, is on a lifestyle journey. And that's where we have a great partner here who has a network that we can piggyback on. And when we meet with different distributors, we're really looking for that kind of synergy of is your sales team living the Aya life, and not drinking copious amounts of alcohol, not doing this, not that, just being mindful, kind of the middle path. And that's from our ingredient suppliers to our production partner to our distribution partner has been fantastic.
Happy to hear that. And you're right, when you mention it, it makes sense to have people who are aligned with the lifestyle, or I'm not sure if cause is the right word, but the kind of lifestyle you're trying to promote, right? Or the kind of lifestyle you're about. So it makes a lot of sense to have partners who believe in the same things that you do.
Yeah, and it becomes more than just transactional of just moving. It could be this can and no brand. It's just a can to a can to a can. Right. Oh, this one has no sugar. This one has sugar. Right. And it's not that. It's anyone can do that. You want the next person who really lives it, feels it, understands it. Throughout the whole ecosystem that we've built. And even with our we don't hardly have any staff, but for our consultants that we bring in to help with sales, to help with events, it's the same, where the people are living the lifestyle and they're traveling to go to retreats, and they're very interested in different plant-based foods and things like that. So the people we hire, we're not going to hire someone drinking Red Bull all day long.
So alignment is important when it comes to finding the right partners to work with. Now, we've mentioned your values and causes, and there's something that you mentioned on your website as well, and we briefly spoke about when we were talking earlier, is the causes outside of just your product. So you're directly supporting education and health for kids. Can you shed some light on how that came about and what that looks like on the ground?
Yeah, it's really, it's at 360 where you're building this community, not with your ecosystem of actual people helping you produce and distribute, but also in terms of the NGO partners that we work with. Right. And so also on the QR code is a direct link to our NGO partners. You can see their impact report. You can see how much their overhead is to their revenue and all of those KPIs for NGOs. We've known them for quite some time. It's a child's dream. And then we have a kind of an audit system that matches us with Child's Dream, which is buy one, give one, B1, G1 from Singapore. And that uses technology, different apps, different links into your website that for every can sold, we give a percentage to Child's Dream. And it captures those percentages and it gives to the different impacts that Child's Dream is set up in the system. So we know that last time I looked was 4,600 impacts. Nice. And when we do an event, if we do an event with Lululemon or a big event like Dragonfly or Wonder Fruit, we'll have the product there and says, scan for a free can or scan to make impact. So when we sell, we fill the bank up with a percentage of each sale, and then people can come and then choose what impact, either health and education, the one that seems to, of course, work so well at the playgrounds for all the kids in all these schools, building different schools, and from the partners who founded Child's Dream, and they said, just put it simply, with every can sold, another child goes to school. And that's what we really want to just keep it simple, make sure the impact is going to where it's supposed to go, track it, and then give the consumer some kind of, look at this ecosystem that you're part of. It doesn't just, the can is local, the ingredients are very local, everything is all around here, especially in Thailand. And then we're giving back to Southeast Asia. It's, for me, one of the top ideas and the reason why to be an entrepreneur. So you can really choose all these things and then see it come to light.
Yeah, it's. I think it's a good cause to get behind, and the fact that you've been able to tie it in within your business and have the same level of transparency with the. Is philanthropy the right word to use, or So the same level of transparency,
like impact,
So the same level of transparency about the impact that you're having, that you have for your suppliers and for your ingredients as well. So I think it adds an extra layer of meaning to what you're doing, right?
And it's very organic. Like that's just part of who we are. And I was thinking of all the organic things, looking at the back of cans, how we've changed the back of can. Another one for entrepreneurs listening is nothing is permanent. This is one of the golden rules of Buddhism and the golden rules of entrepreneurship, that don't get stuck on the font or the green or the this or the that, because it'll change. And I used to be so stuck on it, and you just learn and grow and get better, and see the consumer is going to choose who you are. And the consumer chose not to have a beautiful story on the back. They want to know no sugar, low sugar, how much curcumin, how much green tea is in the product.
It's interesting. Product packaging is a whole science and art in itself. And then as somebody who works with just branding and stuff, I understand how tedious of a process it is to tweak it and fine tune it until you think you have something that works, and then suddenly you get some feedback that resets the whole.
You think you're a genius, so you're like, oh yeah, we'll put curcumin. Everyone knows what curcumin is, because the ones who will know will be like, wow, that's going to be a special drink. No one knows.
Guilty.
So curcumin is the 3-4% of each turmeric root, the really yellow bioactive piece, and that's what we have. 24 times more than any drink in the market, and that's why it's so yellow.
Interesting.
So do we change the front of pack and bringing into the green tea, pulling back a bit on the turmeric because people are scared of turmeric because of the other tastes that people have had with
Fair.
Fair. but it's great learnings because I'm not married to each can as I used to be. Like, I can't change. We're printing 1 million of these. No, it'll change. It'll change, and capture the changes when people tell you things like, okay, we're going to change this, and this. Yeah,
I can imagine. But it's a journey, right? It's a part of the brand building and business building journey of just learning, getting feedback, and implementing on that feedback. Now, you mentioned just local sourcing and local production. So I'm curious to know whether being local here in Thailand was a conscious choice. Thailand, and then obviously expanding into Southeast Asia. Was it a conscious choice for you to call this home, or was it just something that you stumbled into?
No, a conscious choice just because of the ingredients are here. A lot of the ingredients are here. All the packaging is fantastic here as well, and very, of course, localized with the canning. Then Thai Beverage, TBC, does our can, and they've gone next level in terms of sustainability with a 360 loop. So this can will be back in a can within 6 weeks. So in terms of the recycling, so
nice.
Infinitely recyclable. So in my previous business, we did heavy bottles, bespoke bottles, and ship them around the world. So we won't do that again. We've learned that the can is the best because of infinitely recyclable, and of course the much lighter and packs a lot more. So all those kind of transport carbon emissions are reduced. And our partners, TBC, is here, changing the face of sustainability across, from a lot of their different projects. Nice. So having that here, then as a hub that we can, if we expand to China, it's 2 hours away. Everything is here. There's 700 million people within the 6 hours of this airport.
True.
So it's America times America within 6 hours.
Makes sense.
And so that, makes a lot of sense. Then, our business headquarters is in Singapore. So in terms of the transparency for investors and all of those types of things, and all production is here. And production facilities here are some of the best because the exports to Europe and to Whole Foods, really. Whole Foods has the highest standard of retail standards, and the factories need to do that if they're doing coconut water, if they're doing different coffees and teas, aloe vera, all the fruit juices. So we're stunned by many of the factories have this very high level certification called BRC. Nice. Which is very hard to find in Australia or New Zealand or other markets. So great quality, kind of great work ethics in terms of that creativity, of the nuances that being here in this community give us, and then the quality has been fantastic. So win all around, and we get to live here with the best food in the world.
That is true. Yeah, that's one. Not work-related advantage as well. But it makes sense to be in this part of the world, and especially in this country, and it's good to learn about the manufacturing prowess of Thailand from time to time, because it's usually stereotyped as the tourism destination, but our ability, when I say our, I mean Thailand's ability to manufacture world-class products is something that it needs to be highlighted more.
And I think bringing Jim Thompson brought silk to the world. I have no, means or thought that I could do anything, but I would like to contribute my smallest way. That this passion fruit is just unbelievable, and this is northern passion fruit. It's sour, it's sweet, it's so low in sugar. It's 2 grams of sugar, but tastes like it's 20 grams of sugar. That you can use fantastic fruits and vegetables, herbs from Asia, particularly here, no preservatives, and have this amazing either recipes or final liquid production. So we will be producing pineapple, we will be producing mango, we will be strawberry season just started in Chiang Mai. We just came back from Chiang Mai up in Chiang Dao, and the ginger sugars. They're just incredible resources that we have at the tip of our fingers to use, and not to mention coconut water. I mean,
that's a strong case to be made for Thailand.
Yeah.
Perfect. I feel, Kevin, picking up where we left off, you were talking about just Thai ingredients, right? And you kind of tease a little bit of what's around the corner in terms of flavors. So can you, without digging too deep, can you tell us more about what's next for Aya and what's next for the company itself? So flavors, any new markets, any new events, anything interesting for us consumers to look forward to in the near future?
I think just when you said new events, the event that we just did with Dragonfly was incredible. And to have that, like Thailand is the only one who could have that, it seemed like, because there have been so many organic, smaller events that all kind of built up to this bigger event. And it's kind of wonder fruit for management, being with Dragonfly. And the speakers they brought in were incredible.
Heavy hitters in there.
Super inspirational. You almost needed a 2-3 days to let it all sink in, of like, how will you change this year after listening to manifesting book or listening to some of the gurus in complaining and why not to complain and how it impacts your biology. And then some of the music they had, it was just it's an incredible event and so lucky to be part of. And then coming up is Wonder Fruit. So again, it's like 10 festivals in one, where you have our child. We've been going for since 2018. Our child is there playing in the morning, doing arts and crafts, doing all these things. Then there's lunchtime, and then there's wellness activities, and then of course the dinners in the evening. Then all the indigo dyeing with bringing that kind of heritage art and design to the masses, to say this is what real indigo is. No one knows, and it's amazing, and they make such a showcase of it with Philip Wong. And then our partners from Bantalay are doing the ice baths and sweat lodge in terms of a purity kind of a ceremony, and so we'll be activating there with Wonder Fruit, who's been a great partner, very helpful for us struggling penny pinching entrepreneurs that we're allowed to take part, because I know they have Singha, they have Aperol, they have the big boys and big teams, and that we're able to take part in our small way, where we really focus on the wellness, and then in terms of portfolio, there's friends were saying, this is Aya Pro, where this is the highest level of everything, but the kids love it, and we don't, it's okay for the kids, but for this price, we really want to make something that's more affordable for everybody, is a more everyday drink, a slice of Aya. That is at a different price point that can reach more people, but give the same kind of value, same transparency, same great taste, using all of the many of the products, the ingredients I just talked about. And then we have a whole list of new product development, kind of looking at different communities, looking at different occasions that we could fit in under the Aya umbrella, and then not looking at other markets, just we think there's so much kind of depth that we can go here, because of Thailand is known as the spa country, it's known as the yoga country, it's now getting very known as the wellness country, and partners like Anantara have amazing wellness resorts, St. Regis, each one is, and then of course Shivasom and Kamalaya, Aya and Kamalaya should fit together. There's so much more that we should be approaching and growing, and partners like Dark with wellness menus. So it used to be everyone needed a gin and tonic menu. Now everyone needs a wellness menu. You don't want a high sugar non-alcohol You want something that's functional and good for you. So we're building that out. So really focusing, getting deeper in our markets in Singapore and Thailand, and then seeing with our partners, be it Four Seasons or Soho House or even Alo or Lululemon, if someone is pulling us into market and we have the same lifestyle fit, we have a distributor who understands the eye of life, then we say, we're not going to force it. And make it right so that we can grow in the right way, instead of pushing distributors and pushing into markets where people are just taking it but not realizing how different it is.
Nice.
So a tough approach, more organic, slowly building, but I think growing the community much more and much in depth and broader.
Yeah, in my humble opinion, I think that's also the healthier advisor approach, even from a business model perspective, because the growth at all cost startup model is a thing of the past now, especially for relatively non-tech products. I think it's a prudent way to do things, and you're right. If there's the product, if it's able to tell its own story, I think if it's able to resonate with the kinds of partners, audiences, and customers that you're looking for, I think that's the best way to approach it. Now, with that, Kevin, we are at the final question for the day, which is some advice, right? So you've built an established brand, you're growing a product line, you're sort of partnering with who's who of the wellness space, especially in this region. So in that context, do you have any overarching piece of advice for new entrepreneurs or aspiring entrepreneurs who form a majority of our audience? I know it's a relatively broad question, but anything that you would like to say to our audience, essentially?
A lot, just in setting up the foundation. So taking the time, because you have a great idea, it could take off very quickly, but if you haven't set the foundation correctly, and kind of know your truths. So be it 4 truths, be it your 4 values, be it your 4 manifestos, whatever it is, know your truth, that's who you are, and then it kind of sets the tram lines that all decisions are around, like, we're not going into CBD. And that's not who we are.
Right.
And the tech company is like, we're not going into mobile, or something else like that. Right. So you know where you're going, what your direction is, before you get all caught up in all the other stuff. Mm-hmm. And you can spend, and having those kind of values or just truths, it helps you in who you're going to hire, how the decisions are made, who you're going to fire, right. And kind of building up, you might have the idea, I want to climb Kilimanjaro or Mount Everest. You have the top of the peak. Right. That's your vision, that's fantastic. Build that out, but then forget about it. Because then it's step in front of step that you have to get through. You can look up every once in a while, but don't get caught up. And it's like step by step, and prototype. Like, you don't have to build the big health and wellness resort. You don't have to build the perfect app. Right. It's like prototype, test. Small, don't lose too much, right. And then change, and then build it a little bit, instead of, I've got the best idea, we're going for it. It's like, test it. And I'm in the opposite of very communicative, because I like getting the ideas, understanding from people, do my Myers-Briggs. It's going to show you that's the kind of thing. But it's get it to a point where you can share it, but you're already on your way. Yeah, you don't want to share too early, too many things. But build your foundation. See your total vision, but then the step by step, and start small, start prototyping, and ask everyone for help. And it's funny, because you're so busy you forget to ask, and it could be like I asked you about SEO. Like, I know someone will be able to do that affordably for us. Just asking, and if your intentions are right, the kind of universe starts working in your favor. Of those connections will start happening, and it's you never appreciate all the great things that happen. So it's like having the end of day appreciation, because you always, even to the point we still like, oh no, we have another order, because oh no, we don't have enough stock, or oh no, we got to make stock, oh no. It's like, no, we have another order. This is amazing. This is another container going out the door. And it gets to that point where you're so caught up, you forget to really lean heavy into your partners who you appreciate, into the great staff that someone's went overboard to help you, and lean heavy into that, and less into the negative, oh no. Your brain is just kind of set for that oh no. Just get it out of your head and just lean into wow. Like, we actually sold this, wow. And then all the connections that come from it, instead of talking about the one person who didn't take your product. Or turned you down for your agency, or did this and that. It's like, great, that's perfect. The next door is open, and move on. Yeah.
There's a lot of meaningful insights that we can derive from there. It's just everything from setting audacious goals, but taking it one step at a time, to just looking at the positive side of things, especially when there's a lot of negatives that you could be focusing on, and and just counting your blessings when it comes to just running the business, and just gradually keeping at it.
Yeah.
So thank you, Kevin.
Yeah,
it has been a pleasure speaking with you, learning about your product, finally tasting your product after.
You'll be hooked.
Yes, I'm going straight to Villa Market after this.
Sold it. This is the plug. Villa Market, one of the greatest partners we've had. Gourmet Market, Tops. It's sold everywhere.
Perfect. But it's been fun. I understand it's the next few months are very busy for you, so we really appreciate you taking the time.
Thank you. I really appreciate having the time, and I hope that there's a glimmer of insight for the ones listening.
Sure, there's more than a glimmer.
Yeah.
In your words, there's a sparkling sunshine of insights here.
Fantastic.
So you have a good one, Kevin, and we'll hopefully talk more off camera.
Great. Thank you.
It's my pleasure. So thank you to everybody who tuned in. It was great having you. If you liked the episode, please make sure to subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.